I'm gonna go back to obsessing over my hair. I think if I clip it, I had these like mid-sized little claw clips that were like this big, but they've all died. They've died and they're gone. But I do want to get them again. I have the little one, like the tiny little ones, but I honestly think my hair is only barely long. Oh no, I have a little. I can reach the back of my head. Okay, it's okay. I did right after the haircut go like, am I gonna be able to like if I tie something there and then go like that? The answer is yes. I'm just killing my curls today. We're having wavy hair. I'm running my hands through it too much. Hi. Again, long time no see. Did you eat lunch?
For anyone new here, this is WIP Wednesday. I like to face you. So I have to change whether or not my camera is mirrored depending on which side of the screen I'm on. But yeah, WIP Wednesday is when we set aside 3 hours to dedicate primarily to our current work in progress. My 2 exceptions are homework day, and if I have so much admin work, I would be overwhelmed. But that's very rare, because usually I get that done on Monday.
I'm working on my gay dragon novel.
Today?
Gay dragon novel, Storm's Heir. I'm doing edits. I have reached chapter 6 of 23. And I will see how much chapter 6 needs added on. I've been doing little bets every time to see how many words need to be added. Because it is draft 2, I'm not really getting to the point where I can remove words. Like, word counts are not going down, but I am removing words. But I'm just like expanding on things so much. And like some lore, I especially for the earlier chapters, I explain lore or like world mechanics later when I figured them out, and I'm just moving forward.
Figured them out later.
Yeah, when I like came up with them and stuff, and I'm just moving that forward. There's like a whole villain monologue later. I'm gonna have to change. I didn't like how I wrote it when I originally wrote it. I'm like, I haven't quite figured out his motivation. I know his motivation, but I don't know the exact mechanics of why he thinks he can succeed. So later I have to build that up. I have to make that whole chapter much more culty. Because right now it's just like, surprise, bad guy. And I'm like, no, I want them to walk into this town and be like, something's wrong. I'm getting bad vibes. And I feel like I should do cult research, but also that is such a rabbit hole. So I think I might just like pick your brain.
Yeah, I was about to say my DMs are open. I'm going to be spending the time primarily brainstorming how I want my October project to go, because I had such strong vibes for the beginning, and then like I was like, let me just pants this outline summary. I don't even call it the outline in my Milo note. It's called outline-ish. So I'm basically
iconic. So many things that I have ish at the end. I'm like,
I know, right? It's such a perfect suffix.
Yeah. Oh, your audio stopped. I thought you were just taking a dramatic pause, but now I can't hear you. One day I'll be able to read lips. That's a lie. I won't be able to.
Hello?
Yes, now I can hear you.
My phone fell asleep and I could still hear you, but the mic stopped working.
Okay.
No, I was saying, like, while I'm mostly like pantsing the outline-ish, I do know that kind of like up to this point, I had a small summary in my mind, or like a skeleton. So I'm like, I need to kind of let my mind like think about how I want the story to continue before I continue my outline-ish. So answering cult questions would be perfectly fine.
Well, I'm not there yet. We have quite a few chapters to get to the cult. Unless you want to write up a little blurb of like some signs that as you're entering a town that is a cult, what cult things they might see.
Sam's cult red flags coming up.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I think the cult doesn't show up to like chapter 16. All right, that's the beginning of our sprint. Bye. Not bye. See you on
See
the
you
other
soon.
side.
Hello.
Well, I fully didn't realize this rant ended. I was like, oh, the screen's different. La da 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 da. What'd you get done?
I typed up my it's a poll to you.
I saw that. I appreciate.
I got a page-ish of skeleton thoughts for, okay, here's kind of the things I want to happen.
Okay.
And then I got down to the bottom and I'm like, oh, they're doing a reverse tracking spell. So now I get to plan out what the minions' last day was like and then decide how far the thing is gonna get.
Did
I
they get
have
to...
direction, so
Yay! I figured out a plot hole, probably, that I've had for a while. Or not a plot hole, but like a weak plot point. I
and you
have
sent
them.
it to the gym.
Yes, because they go to the Information Guild, and that's the one night. But Jason doesn't go in, but that's the night that Jason and Rye meet, and then they come back the next night, and that's when we find out information and stuff at the Information Guild. And I was like, why don't what's my reasoning? The reasoning for them not going the first night is that it's closed, but I'm like, that's dumb. That's dumb. That's dumb. And so I'm like, okay, so I'm doing this whole, and also the fact that he's doing this with Yuta, who's a illusion mage, basically. And then he's like, but he just wears like a mask on his face. And he's recognized anyways. And I'm like, this is not giving it. So I'm like, okay, what if the first night Yuta is like, oh shit, they have wards up that get rid of disguises. So I was gonna put a magical disguise on your face, but they have a ward that gets rid of them. And instead he has to take the day to make a mask that is magically also a disguise. So it's like higher level. And then
Imbuing the object with the magic instead of.
And then I was like, okay, but then why does Jason have his normal face when Jason and Rye meet? And I think yes, because Yuta has Jason hang out in an alleyway while he goes investigates. And I was like, maybe he just when you're doing a spell like that on someone else, it takes like there's a time limit or something. So he's like, oh,
Maybe
we'll just
while
wait
he's in
until
the alley, he could just take the mask off since it's a physical thing to
the
breathe.
mask's not a thing yet. The mask comes, it's like, oh, we need the mask. It is discovered that night. So I'm like, but I want him to have his normal face when him and Rye meet.
Yeah.
So I'm like, either, but if it was just easy to apply a disguise like that, Yuta would apply it before they leave the castle, so that the prince is not caught out and about. So
hang on real quick. Hi, Gwenna. Gwenna says hi. We welcome you for the 30 minutes you will be here. So what is your motivation for him seeing Jason's real face first? So he recognizes him later?
Yeah.
He could just recognize him by smell. He's a dragon.
Yeah.
Or magic aura.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily magic aura. Have a good day at work. But
that sets a precedent. Because later they run into someone with magical disguise on their face, and Rye's like, there's something fucked up about this person's face. And I can't tell what. Like, he can just sense the magic. Like, it just is like uncanny valley for him. And I don't want him to have that when he meets Jason for the first time. So I'm like, maybe if it's on another person and the level of change needed, makes a time limit.
That would work too.
And so Yuta's just like, your hair is really fucking distinctive, and also you're the fucking prince. I need to make you look like a completely different person. Let's just wait until we get there. Wear this darkened cloak, because I already have the precedent for like spells like warming charms. They need to be reapplied. So having that kind of disguise needing to be reapplied without an anchor
makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So that's what I came up with, but I did 1 page of edits, and then I got on to page 2, and then I like wrote out these ideas. And I also ran a interaction by you to be like, is this how humans interact with each other, or does this make the person look bad? With Jason, I'm constantly being like, does this make him look bad, or is he just has a particular way of communicating?
Yeah.
Or like, even if it would, like, if he was saying this to a stranger, it'd be like, what the hell? But he's saying this to literally his best friend.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a different way of
although it is 2 men speaking, it is very much an exchange between women.
Oh yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and I feel like it can
girls.
work in this tone, like in this context.
It's about someone copying a feel for context, for chat. But and Utah is like, if one more noble guy cops a feel while I pour him wine, I'm gonna smash the pitcher over his head. And Jason's like, internally, he's like, yeah, I would approve of this. I know my friend wouldn't actually do that, but I would support if he wanted to. So, but then the conversation moves on without being like, do you want me to handle that for you? Like, that's not, if Utah had an issue with it, he would handle it himself.
Yeah.
He probably does handle it himself.
Yeah, no, it doesn't feel like dismissive or uncaring or anything. It just feels very much like this is part of our daily life, and I hear you.
Yeah.
So
that's what I didn't want Jason to seem dismissive. Especially, and I don't want to be like, because Utah is the protagonist of book 2, I don't want to be adding all this stuff where it's like, I don't need to talk about how he is probably going to like lightly poison that guy because of the person that cops a feel, because we can learn that later. Like we don't, more's going on Utah's end than is said in this book, but I don't want to be talking about it as much in this book because that kind of stuff is going to continue in book 2, and I want it to be like a reveal when you get there, and then when you go after you read book 2 and know that Utah's scheming or doing all this stuff, you go back and read book 1 and be like, yeah, this is his report, but he probably he's like, you read that and you're like, oh, he probably did something to that guy in revenge, just from knowing his personality. So that's what I'm playing around with right now. But I'm almost to the point where they get to meet. I'm 2 pages away. So
nice.
Yay. And that's my update for everyone.
I gave my bad guy a motivation. I think he had one already.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that what I gave him just adds to it.
Yeah.
If not,
yeah.
he has a new motivation now.
I've gotten to the point where I'm like, oh, this person doesn't have a reason they're doing it, and then I come up with one, and then on the reread I'm like, so I fully wrote out 2 different reasons that this person's acting the way they are. I'm
in the idea summarizing the outline. So to me, I'm still in the Wild West of my plotting. Mm-hmm. Not that I wouldn't do this. Well, if I were later in the process, I'd remember the motivation more, but also, I'm going to give you and chat a heads up that I was doing very well until a couple minutes ago, and now my head has started to hurt in a very distinct way that I associate with sleep deprivation. So, which I will say, it may not be sleep deprivation. It might just be my head hurting.
Yeah.
But
do you want to go to sleep?
Not yet, because I'm getting work done, and I would
Okay.
like to get more done. But I am letting you know that I will prioritize my health.
Yeah.
And so if it doesn't stop or if it begins to get worse, I will just peace out.
Yeah, that's so
So
fair.
but like I'm not piecing out right now because it's not like constant, like it
Mhm.
came and then it went away. So I'm like, is it because I didn't get enough sleep this morning? Because I was planning on getting sleep after the stream.
Yeah.
But I'm like, or is it because our weather? Because like it fucking snowed. There were flurries. And now like I went outside and I had to take my coat off because it was too warm. So I'm
Oh,
like, could just be the weather but yeah.
yeah.
So
No worries whatsoever. I don't have the excuse of the weather because it's like 71 and cloudy here, and I just got sleepy. But I am thinking about buying a floor lamp. If you guys were watching my little camera, I did turn on the overhead lights and then sat down, and I hated it. Even though it was bright, my head literally started hurting. Do you guys want to see how bad? And also the lighting was terrible. This is the overhead lights, right?
yeah.
Which is bright, but like it's medical bright.
Yes.
You're in an insane
That is the
asylum.
brightest of white lights.
Yeah, and I'm a lamp girly through and through. I can't handle that. So I can buy like a $30 floor lamp, and I think I'm gonna get one and put it like right there. Which is mean I'm gonna have 4 lamps in my like 10 by 15 room.
Doesn't matter.
But there is
Use what you need.
I have natural light for like 2 hours, like nice natural
Yeah,
light.
and
Like
then
2
once it's
hours a
gone,
day.
you become a parrot and you just go to sleep.
Literally, I'm so sleepy. Like it hit like 1:30, 2 o'clock, and I'm like, I was totally fine after our stream earlier, and I went downstairs where there's like pretty good natural lighting, and then I came back up here and it's dim, and I'm like, I want to go to bed. Exactly,
But
too
it's
damn
like
bright.
too damn bright UFO coming to get
Thank
you,
you.
girl.
I feel validated because I was like, oh, am I being like whiny? Am
Oh,
I
it was
being
very
like,
bright.
am I just like getting the urge to buy stuff? Like,
No, you're trying to improve your situation. That's very different.
and I'm like, no, I do want to like, yeah, because I'm so sleepy. All of the sudden, which makes no sense because I woke up at like 10. I slept for 10 hours.
You
I had taken
overslept.
my
Now you're
med.
groggy.
No, because I need like 10 hours of sleep.
I know. I'm
Um,
teasing you.
yeah.
No, I, for whatever reason, could not fall asleep. Well, if I think deeply on it, it's because I'm pretty confident it's because my PMDD
Mm-hmm.
had been fucking with me from Friday, or was it Thursday? I think it was actually Thursday because it was the night I was gonna read and we were gonna stream Friday. So I think it started Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and part of Monday, my PMDD was giving me insomnia. So I could not sleep no matter how tired I was. And then last night, Monday and last night, I finally got to like have good sleep.
Yeah, you texted about that.
But because of when I got the good sleep, my sleep cycle is now shifted again. So if which I contemplated just staying up until after the stream, but I got tired at 10 and I was like, okay, so let me take a nap and then I'll sleep again after the stream. And through doing that, hopefully will shift my sleep schedule again. But I am not risking a migraine. So if it was more than just a warning sign, I'm gonna go lay down.
I'm going to take some pain meds and keep going. I did
Bring
nothing
me some
yesterday.
pain. No, I shouldn't take pain meds because if I take the pain meds right now, then I won't get the warning sign I need to go sleep, and I'll
Yes.
trigger a flare up anyway.
Okay, writing time.
No. I just want to let everybody. I just want to let everybody know that I'm gonna go ahead and head out.
Bye.
I got quite a bit of work done. I was plotting and had to figure some things out, and I got it done now. But I'm starting to do the eye droopy. So
yeah, go sleep.
All right.
Bye.
Good luck. See you later. Bye.
See ya. Hello. Alright, Sam is gone now, which means I'm in charge. I was in charge anyways. It's my channel this week. But, let's see. I started on page 62. which is the introduction of a character that is like a maternal figure for Jason, but is potentially unnecessary. She was, I think, a late addition into the story. Judging the fact she doesn't show up till chapter 6, which is Jason's 3rd chapter. And I was like, shit, is it better if she just doesn't exist at all? So I made a list called Justifying Chris's Existence. And I wrote out all the stuff she does within the story, and then what possibly I would change it to. But I don't. That kind of makes me want her to be there more. So my options are, as it is, it's no. So I either need to make her show up more or get rid of her altogether. Let's see, how old is she? If Diana is, let's go Cyrus's age. If Cyrus is 54, she would probably be also in her 50s. And she's a guard, but that's not that old. But she does have chronic pain from a curse. And I think I think everything about her is just kind of like a one-off or like half mentioned, but there are a couple scenes I really like with her. And I like the tragicness of her being Jason's mom's personal guard and in love with Jason's mom. Whether that was platonic or not. And then looking at Jason and never seeing Jason and just seeing his mother. Yeah, I think I do need to keep her, but I need to play up on that. That she loves him, like, familially, paternally, I was gonna say. But I think she loves him because he thinks she only loves him because he's his mother's son and not because he's him, which is kind of his whole deal, is being seen by who he is in relation to others and not who he is himself, other than Rye. So I think she does need to stay, but her scenes need to and she needs to be introduced sooner. Which takes me to, she's talked about right off the bat in chapter 2. Don't know where she is for the entirety of chapter 4. Is she even mentioned in chapter 4? Nope, not mentioned once. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna have to change. Sorry, chapter 4. Thought I was done with you. Not done, but done for this round of editing. Could she be in the banquet scene? I don't think she would put up with the banquet scene as well as Yuri. Utah. And then she shouldn't be in the training scene. I think I can add her in. And maybe instead of Jason being against a dummy, he's against her. Then I could have some tension between her and Blakely. I know you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm still talking. I gotta. Also another thing is her story is very similar to Blakely. Blakely is a Blakely, who I feel like I should just fucking change his name to Blake, like last name. But I feel like Blakely is the last name until I said it out loud. And now I'm like, that sounds insane. Hi, Pure Blind Gamer. I hope the cuts are good. And I'm having a pretty good day. Running into plot hiccups, not plot holes, plot hiccups. But Blakely is a military guy who, because of his connection to the previous Empress and Jason, wasn't allowed to advance in the military. Thanks. And Chris is, there's a one-off line about her being demoted. If I have her in that scene, Blakely's entrance. Wow, it's so weird to say Blakely out loud. I kind of hate it, I think. His entrance becomes more about her than it does about him. Than it does about Jason and Jason's wants and needs. Let's see, this is chapter 4. Yeah, it's chapter 5. Wait, there we go. If F starts there, I am literally going to do this in front of you guys. Let's see. He's training. He gets judged by his friend. We think about something. He's thinking, and then Blakely arrives. Why? I think it would be, she would have to leave too, I think, to make this track. Or she wouldn't. I think she's the stoic type that does their duty and doesn't cross that line, which is part of where Jason learned it. So I think I have to add her into that scene. So I'm not removing her anymore. Just good for her screen time. So she's added to chapter 4. Partner. Then we have her description there. We can put a little bit of her backstory if her description, Blakely arrives, then we can do him greet Jay, then Chris, and then backstory of Chris. And then after we do Chris's, just a little hint of backstory. Did we do an original hint of her backstory? Where's Chris? Chris is resting in the middle of a flare-up. No, fully that is her mention. Okay. Cool. So we have no idea who Chris is. Okay, so we want backstory of Chris. Her description needs to include her injury, which I think is just going to be not physical. I also worried about having two mom figures that are fighters that are sapphic that have some sort of injury or something, or they'd be really great fighters if not for that injury. Well, I guess with Brunhilde, it's not if not for the injury. She's on top of the old injury with nerve damage. And then with Chris, it's fine until it's not. I also kind of, I don't know if anyone's really watching right now, but I kind of want to do, I've made this riff between my tragic lesbians, older lesbians, middle-aged lesbians. They're in their 50s, late 40s. Late 40s, I think. Maybe late 50s. Let me look. I have a little timeline with like everyone's, most people's ages by year. When I'm like, were you alive when that happened? Let's see. Winifred is 56 and Brunhilde is 58. I kind of don't want them to get back together. Which is, I don't think I've said anywhere. Because I'm like, Brunhilde did so much bad. I mean, you abandoned your wife for 20 years. You cannot be shocked if she doesn't want to be with you anymore. And I kind of want Chris and Winifred to get together, which I'm like, Winifred has a type, and if she goes from one muscle mommy to a different one, that'd be really funny for me. But I don't think Wynn deserves getting back with Brunhilde. Like, I think that would, getting back with the woman that did so much to you or caused you so much pain. I think they have remained a tragedy. They need a divorce. So having her, I don't want to get rid of her because I want that future for her and Win. So if I do backstory of Chris, that's so much information for people though. Maybe we can do the backstory of Chris in chapter 4. No, I think we need the backstory of Chris in chapter 6 possibly, but I think we do need it in chapter 4 because we'll know. So as of the end of chapter 2, we know that she is a person and protective and is having a flare-up. So in chapter 4, I think establishing her connection to, I think we do need her whole tie to Jason's mom and Jason. Diana is the mom. And her, and then then I could start kind of having the theme of Jason's identity, not just through being contrasted, not just through Blakely, but also through Chris, starting in chapter 4. Hello, we are right about to go into our next sprint, which is half an hour to be productive as much as you can in whatever you want to do. I'm working on my book. It's mostly for, or it's not just mostly, it's aimed at writers, but open to anyone who wants to be productive for half an hour. See you on the other side. Well, I did attempt to try and end that when I like set a timer and everything. I was like, oh, I have a minute and a half left. Let me just write a little. And then fully went into the break sprint. But that's fine. Um, I ended up going from my chatting last sprint or last break. I need to add her to chapter 4. So I went in, added her to the banquet scene, and then I went to the sparring scene and I started adding her in. And it's also a good way to show Jason does have skill. Um, so he's no longer attacking a dummy, he's fighting with Chris. Um, and yeah. So I worked on that. Um, sorry, I had an idea. When just lethargic. I did the way it panned out. There's no way I can avoid giving up the ghost that Jason's allergic to nuts. I was like, is there a synonym for nuts that sounds cooler? There isn't. I looked it up and the internet was like crazy, insane. And I'm like, that's not what I meant. So I'm like, unless I say specifically walnuts, pecans, then I think I just have to say nuts. And the way Jason's trying to hide his allergy. Because it's I've talked about this before. So I don't want him to be like, does this have walnuts in it? And the chef be like, yeah. Maybe I could add in like him going, might not have walnuts in it, so I'm less stressed about trying it without kind of destroy the tension of that scene. Not destroy, but it would add a different. There's something horrifying about the positive. Jason's positive that he's gonna have to stop breathing because of what he's made to eat by his father. And then so I added Chris to that, and I think we still don't know anything about Chris. I threw in a fun line that's as soon as Jason goes outside, he's like a little delirious, little delirious, as a person does. He's like, I wonder who Chris sees in her arms. And I'm like, it's a little clunky right now, but I do like the idea of that. Because he has that idea repeatedly later. Um, so, yeah, that's what I worked on. I had the time to take the second dose of my ADHD meds, which is fun. And then, yeah, I do think I might end the sprint early, or the stream early, but I'm gonna do the wrap up sprint. Yeah, no reason not to. I think I'll probably keep going in the server, but I don't have much to say during this break. I think making Chris's personality, when we see her speak for the first time, is when in the crisis. And I'm like, I don't, with the allergy thing, don't know if that's the best. That's not how she normally is. She's normally very stoic and stuff. So I'm like, is this, I don't know, a good introduction for her? I thought this was not this. Okay, that's what I thought it was. But it's also interesting to be like, hey, this is a character freaking out, and then most of the time they're not actually like that. I think it might be a little confusing, but I trust the audience to handle it. And if they can't, I'll find that out in the editor and beta reader and critique partner process. Yeah. I think I am gonna end the stream. I don't have my outro, so we're gonna be doing Sam's outro. But yeah, I'm going to continue working on this, but I'm gonna get some food, and I hope everyone has a nice evening. If it's evening where you are, if it's night, morning, I also hope that's night. Okay, bye.